On Get Up. And so usually I put together these lists, top fives, this, that, or the others, and everyone spends the rest of the day yelling at me. And I just wasn't in the mood for that today, so I stuck Monica with this job. So just get ready for everyone to listen to be yelling at you for the rest of the day. Here's the list. With Luka Doncic getting traded, I said, if you were starting a roster right now and you had every human being on planet Earth to choose from, wouldn't he be in the top five? So, our fundamentalist, who were the top 5 players we would start a franchise with?
I spent a lot of time on this yesterday. All right, so speaking of Luka, let's go to my 5th. It is, in fact, Luka Doncic. And let me just say, for my 5th spot, I really went between Luka and Anthony Edwards. And I am partial to the two-way of it all, but I do think what Luka has is very similar to another guy on my list. I mean, he's one of 3 guys in the league that can give you 27 and 7, and that's at the minimum numbers just to join that group of 3 in the class. All right, so I'm going Luka Doncic, definitely a guy that I think you can build an organization around. The Lakers got their guy moving forward.
Who's 4?
All right, 4. Who is 4?
Jason Tatum.
Jason Tatum is 4 for my list. And listen, talk about durability. He's a champion, multi-time All-Star, All-NBA, two-way guy. I think durability gets overlooked in these conversations sometimes, and that is hugely important to me in terms of what Jason Tatum. I love the article that Dave McMenamin wrote, I guess it's about 2 weeks now, talking about his draft class and some of the feedback when he was coming into the league. Jason Tatum, cornerstone.
Remember, they traded back and got Jason Tatum.
Such a great article. I mean, McMenamin does great work anyway, but that article really...
Number 3.
Wemby.
I was expecting him to be 1.
So there's still more to see. And, yell at me, whatever, we can have this conversation. But yeah, 5-by-5 games, the records he's already set, his ability to impact the game both defensively and offensively. Shooting the 3, I'm okay with how much he shoots the 3. I do think the next step in his game is going to be more of a presence in the paint in terms of finding force as an NBA player. But yeah, I mean, you gotta have
the question is durability, because sometimes the really tall guys have issues with that.
The feet,
lower body.
He's done a great job taking care of himself. All right, up next though, come on, man. I mean, you could argue that this guy should be have another MVP.
Right.
He's done it multiple times in this league. I think he has to be on this list because his game is timeless. It's going to age well. We just had a conversation potentially about feet and all that stuff. If he can stay healthy, it's not about jumping, it's not about running fast. It is about a command of the game and dictating pace in a way that no one can disrupt. It's so difficult to disrupt him. And again, in that group of 3 guys.
I agree. He's going to age well because, and I mean this with all due respect, he's the least athletic all-time great I've ever seen.
I mean, and it's such a compliment in this instance.
In his case,
worked.
It is remarkable. So, okay, hold on. So Wemby's not 1. Jokic is not 1. Number 1 is...
Let the yelling begin. Give me Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Bam! I'm into it. Two-way. I am obsessed with what he said the other day after that near 60-point performance about wanting to get better and about chasing the process and about continuing to meet the level in his mind. To me, he is a guy that still has ceiling, a tremendous leader, a tremendous teammate. And not that all of these guys aren't, but as I watch him continue to evolve, he's sort of that NBA prototype that I believe it might be a little bit easier. I won't say easier, that's not fair, but building around to me, because he can do so many things so well, you're less worried about having to compensate for maybe some of the things that he does not do well. I'm into SGA, his focus, his intensity. He's obviously leading the way with the Oklahoma City Thunder.
And they've been spectacular. That's a great list. So we go Luka, Tatum, Wemby, Jokic, Shai, and you said you really struggled not having Anthony Edwards on the list. Wendy with us this morning from LA. Quick reaction, Wendy.
I'm surprised she doesn't have Giannis on the list. I would have Wembanyama 1, but what I like about this list so much, Monica, on the headache rankings, Shai's all business. Luka is, Wembanyama is all business. Jokic, all business. Tatum, all business. These guys are not going to give you headaches. That is a guy I want to start a team with. Focused, durable, no headaches. Love that. I love the top 4 on that list on the all no headache team.
Very well done. Okay, I wanted to bring Lewis and Dan in on this quickly because I have a question for each of you guys.
Okay.
Look, this is a trade. This is a trade that extends the Luka AD trade. It extends well beyond just how it impacts these teams on the floor, right? This is the kind of thing that it just stopped. I can't even fathom what it would have been like to have been Shams in that moment and hit send on that post and been like, I'm about to blow the world up right now. And that's kind of what it did. From a front office perspective, Nico Harrison makes a deal that he will be remembered for forever.
Sure.
And it could go either way. But having been in front offices and stuff, like the courage that it takes to look at a guy and say, there's stuff going on here the world doesn't know. They're all going to tell me I'm crazy, but I know I'm doing the right thing here.
Yeah, and just think about how he knew what was coming down the road. He knew the kind of scrutiny he was going to get. He knew the kind of blowback he would get from the fan base, by people in the NBA, whether it be other front office executives, of their players, and that's why he kept it so silent. But he was so convicted that he still went through with it. And he had the trust, obviously, of Rob Pelinka to go ahead and pull this off. And I think Wendy put it best. He said, look, I think when this happened, Wendy said that a star player had texted him and said, just think about how much the Dallas Mavericks must hate Luka in order to do this. And that's the thing. See, the team that's sending a player off always has an infinite amount more of information about that player than the inquiry team does, no matter how many contexts you think you have. And when someone does that, and when someone's willing to ship a player like that, if you're Rob Pelinka, I don't care how tight you were with him via Kobe Bryant, you better sit there and go, what does he know that I don't know? And what am I getting into?
Luka will be 26. He's not even 26 years old. Dan, again, this extends beyond everything. Quick reaction.
My NFL comparison that was going through my mind yesterday was the Bills trading Josh Allen for Dak Prescott. Like, hey, you're really good. Now off the field, off the court, probably different conversations, but you're really good. You'll never get it done for us. And then Dak Prescott, really good, has reached really high levels, and Dallas is like, all right, we want a better player type of thing. That was my NFL comparison. I think it's wild to give up on talent. I think we have so many examples of all-time great talents figuring it out maybe a little bit longer than people want. I think it's insane what Dallas did.
Wendy, 15 seconds for a final word.
It's been fascinating over the last 12 hours to watch all the NBA players' reactions last night across the league to this. None of them can understand it. All of them were surprised. The reactions to this is still amazing. Keep an eye as the days go on here, too.
Lakers, for my LeBron whisperer, I think the sense I'm getting from you and others is that reading the tea leaves suggests he's good with this, but I think that's the first most important piece that has to fall into place, is getting an official response from LeBron James on this. What do you know?
Yeah, my feel is that he is. LeBron is a teammate of Luka Doncic's at Nike, and you can downplay that however you want, but LeBron has a connection there. He has an affinity there. And not only that, forget about that. They brought in a potential. Luka is not going to win the MVP this year, but he could win it next year. Why would LeBron not be excited about that? The Lakers' ceiling has been raised. And I hear what Charles is saying, and he's correct that, looking at their games, in a certain way, it's not a perfect fit. But let's just see. I've watched LeBron win titles with 3 different types of teams, with 3 different types of co-stars. He can figure out ways to help. Luka did not work with Kristaps Porzingis. Initially had some rough couple of months with Kyrie Irving, but then they worked it out and got to the finals. Why would we put a ceiling on this? I am excited about what this can be. Now, the Lakers roster is not maximized for either Luka or LeBron right now. They have to do some work. I don't blame them for that. A week ago, they didn't think they were getting Luka Doncic. So let's see what they do between now and Thursday, and let's see what they do in June and July. And I think the biggest excitement for the Lakers will be what they are as a team coming into next season.
So, Monica, LeBron James is a basketball genius, right? So that part of it, if anyone can figure something out, one would assume he can.
Yeah.
You are a basketball expert. I am not. I've watched LeBron James' entire career. I've never seen him play without the ball. Right? I mean, LeBron James has the ball in his hands and is orchestrating everything that happens on the floor all the time. I've watched Luka Doncic his entire career. I've never seen him without the ball in his hands. So I'm not the analyst that you are. I'm not the expert that you are. But I know, unless they're going to change the rule and say, well, you guys can play with 2 balls if you want to, this does not feel like a fit to me. That is how I interpreted what Charles was saying.
But I agree. And I think if you just look at it in terms of what we've known and what we've seen for years, yeah. But just like you said, Greeny, LeBron James, and I would add Luka Doncic to that same ilk, You're talking about basketball geniuses. And when you look at the numbers in terms of his usage, LeBron James has never had a usage rate that was below 30 until the last 2 seasons. That includes this season. He is in a new era of his career. I have a hard time believing that he would not welcome the opportunity to play off ball a little bit, to have another guy on the floor that draws 2 defenders, that shifts the gravity, similar to the way that Anthony Davis was able to do, but obviously from a different position, because this guy is giving you at least 7 assists, and that's on an off day when you're talking about Luka Doncic. And so to me, I think that there is room for the 2 of them to figure out how to make this work. And I also think that J.J. Redick is the guy that's probably up to the challenge.
Look, I love J.J. I think he has done a really good job there. I think he's going to be a great coach. Everyone involved individually is terrific. Wendy, you pointed out they got 2 days to figure out something at center. One would assume their dealing is not done. Thursday is the deadline. What should we be expecting the Lakers to do? Because, you know, this is a team that is in playoff position right now and has postseason aspirations.
Yeah, so what we're seeing in the league right now is we're seeing a lot of trades that are going to 3- and 4-team trades. I would actually expect in this new world, the new normal is going to be we are going to see more multi-team trades than we do 2-team trades. And so what you have to do as an organization is you have to figure out who you're attaching yourself to. So like you may see a trade that happens today or tomorrow, and then the Lakers can get in on it, and when it's finalized on Thursday, they all of a sudden acquire a center out of it. So it's hard. It's not like it used to be where the Lakers just call a team and ask for a player. They sometimes have to wait to see what opens up. But one thing I will say, Luka thrived this last 2 years in Dallas when he had these basket-protecting, rim-rolling centers, Derek Lively and Daniel Gafford. It was awesome for him to have that option. The Lakers don't really have Jackson Hayes can do that a little bit. That's not who they've got right now. Also, you want, when you have weak perimeter defense, and right now the Lakers do, you need a guy who defends the front of the rim. That's what kept them afloat the last couple of years was Anthony Davis's defense. They don't have that now. So I'm not sure they can acquire that center by Thursday, but they have pieces on their roster that can get him. They have this first-round pick. They have pick swaps they can trade. They have Austin Reeves. They have Rui Hachimura. Let's see. I understand there's this desire to have everything with the Lakers crystallized. The whole world just changed. Let's let them work, including LeBron and Luka together.
So the Lakers are right now, as we speak, 3.5 games ahead of the Mavericks in the standings. But if I were to ask you, Monica, just in the moment that we have left here, because the Mavericks will start, they'll play tonight as well. They play the Sixers, Lakers play the Clippers. Which of these 2 teams will have the better rest of the season and postseason run this year, regardless of what? It's the Mavs.
You don't even have to finish the sentence.
With
now,
certainty.
What I did, unless, to Wendy's point, by Thursday, the Lakers are able to acquire a big that fills that gap, and they need, to me, at least one other perimeter defender, 3-and-D guy, another Dorian Finney-Smith type, right? If they can do that by Thursday, then I have to sit back and really look at it. But right now, when I look at rosters as currently constructed, it's the Mavs.
All right, again, both teams play tonight. We should hear from pretty much everybody involved.
Xin chào tất cả các bạn đã quay trở lại kênh YouTube của mình. Mình hiện làm người làm video sáng tạo nội dung trên nền tảng YouTube nha các bạn. Mình sẽ sáng tạo những video hướng dẫn cắt dán cho các bạn này. Đây là những sản phẩm của mình đã cắt dán rất nhiều những sản phẩm của mình đây này. Mình sẽ giới thiệu cho các bạn cách mình tạo ra những video viral của mình nha. Đấy. Để tạo được những video đẹp hay chất lượng cho các bạn xem thì mình sẽ cần những dụng cụ như sau. Mình sẽ giới thiệu cho các bạn biết nha. Đây là giấy thủ công màu các bạn này, rất nhiều màu sắc này. Đấy. Nó có giấy màu vàng này, giấy màu xanh này, đây là màu xanh da trời nha các bạn này. Còn đây là giấy màu đỏ. Đấy. Còn đây giấy màu cam này các bạn này, màu cam, giấy màu vàng này. Đấy, giấy màu vàng. Và để tạo ra được những sản phẩm tuyệt vời như thế này. Đấy, những sản phẩm mình đang cầm trên tay là sản phẩm đẹp của mình. Đấy. Rất nhiều sản phẩm này. Đấy. Thì mình sẽ cần những dụng cụ Tiếp theo sẽ là kéo để cắt này, kéo cắt. Bút dạ là để vẽ và định hình, tô thêm những sắc màu đẹp cho sản phẩm. Còn đây là hồ dán để mình có thể dán được những chi tiết vào cho sản phẩm này. Đấy, cắt dán mà đây như thế này đây, mình sẽ cắt dán và dán vào đây. Đấy, đằng sau mình sẽ dán đằng sau này các bạn này. Đây, ví dụ như thế này. Đấy, mình sẽ cắt dán này, cắt rồi dán thêm này, điểm nhấn cho sản phẩm đấy. Và còn những dụng cụ không thể thiếu như là đây, đằng sau mình đây là chiếc chân kẹp điện thoại này. Đây là chiếc điện thoại thì mình quay lại quá trình mình tạo ra video này. Đây là chữ đèn hỗ trợ ánh sáng. Và kênh của mình thì cũng đã được nhận nút bạc từ YouTube rồi các bạn này. Đây nút bạc của mình này. Đấy. Khi mình cắt dán xong một sản phẩm, mình sẽ đưa lên máy tính của mình. Hiện tại chỗ này của mình thì chưa máy tính, mình sẽ nói cái đấy là vấn đề sau đi. Mình sẽ đưa lên máy tính và mình sẽ hay dùng phần mềm Camtasia để chỉnh sửa và edit video. Mình sẽ cắt sửa những đoạn video thừa ở trên Camtasia. Mình sẽ xuất ra và đăng lên kênh của mình thôi để cho các bạn xem và chiêm ngưỡng ấy. Các bạn hãy ủng hộ mình bằng những lượt đăng ký, lượt like, subscribe nha, để mình có thể ra nhiều video cho các bạn xem. Tại nơi làm việc của mình đây rất nhiều những sản phẩm. Đây, quả chuối này, cây nấm này, đây là lọ mực này, nhiều lắm các bạn này, thước ké này, đấy, nấm cơm này. Đấy. Và bây giờ các bạn hãy cùng đi theo dõi mình tạo ra những sản phẩm viral cho các bạn xem nha.
Em sẽ tiếp tục cái đán các bạn, em xin luôn. Cắt vào. Nhiều xin các bạn. Thế giới đã không được anh rồi. Xin nha các bạn. Xin giá thôi. Ok các bạn. Sát các bạn.